The vibe is to, have another great season. We want to, elevate from last season. Take, learning points from last season and incorporate into this season. We know what it takes to achieve, some sort of success. And the vibes is to, come in every single day, grind, and do whatever we got to do to achieve team glory and to, make the program look good, and also, make our names look good. Because everybody's their own individual. We ain't got names on the back of our jerseys, but we got families, all that. Everybody got a name for themselves. So the vibe is to go out and get it. We're gonna be, hunted, but we gonna turn that around. We gonna still hunt.
Right.
We ain't gonna be the, people trying to come take us out. We're gonna take people out. That's the vibe.
Coach mentioned that too. He mentioned hunting. So you were thudded up and you didn't necessarily agree with it, and the next play you turned into the hunter. Is that typically always your approach? You're a dual threat. You could do everything. I just love your game. But what's always your mindset when you're back there?
Me personally, I want to dominate whoever's in front of me. No matter who you are, no matter what type of status you have, like when you're in front of me, it's me against you. And every single time, I'm gonna try to be the better person and the better athlete. But I think Coach spoke on it yesterday. Got hit. I didn't agree with the hit or the push or whatever it was after the play, and kind of like flip the switch.
Mm-hmm.
Like obviously those are my teammates. I'm not trying to go out there and like do them wrong, but like the competitive side of me, more of the competitive side of me came out, and like that's more like the game side of me. I'm gonna go out there and try to dominate. I don't care if you Leonard Moore. I don't care if you Jalen Sneed. Like I'm Jeremiah Love. You are who you are. Let's go.
That was a Link moment.
Yeah.
Let a naysayer know.
Hey, Coach kind of talked about it. There were plays that were signature for you last season. One, when your team is doing really well and they're playing on the biggest stages, you get opportunities to make those plays. People are paying attention. You had the Indiana run, 90 plus, the hurdle at Army. You had the hurdle at USC, the Penn State run. Which one of those runs is your favorite and why?
I would think that a lot of people would probably say the Penn State run. That's not my favorite. My favorite is probably the USC run because it was just like crazy. Like one dude went low, hurdled him. The next dude tried to, he ain't go low, so I had to go through him. So like I feel like that play like kind of like all around show what type of player I was. Like I'm very athletic. I can make plays, like spectacular plays when it's needed, but I can also, run through your face or go around you. So I'd say that's probably my favorite play. It's just a culmination of everything.
Yeah, one of my favorite moments for me every game was, and Jordan talked about it, is I would wait for him, I'd write something down for him, I'd give it to him so he could read it right before the game. My favorite Notre Dame parent is your father, right? He's became like my dad would look for him at every game he came to. But you guys also share a moment before the game. Can you talk about your pregame process and, breaking the huddle with the bags?
All right, what's up, everybody? It's the Dose Leprechauns podcast back. Excuse me. I'm back for season 11, episode 2. And it's time, guys. Today's the day, about an hour and a half from now, 90 minutes from now. Notre Dame, Miami, kickoff, Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. All the hype, all the talk, all the everything for each team is over. Now it's time to see what happens on the field, and we're feeling pretty dang excited. So hopefully you guys are too. So with us, as always, for our pregame show is our buddy from Dose Leprechauns, admin, our contributor, one of our editors, one of our guys, our friends, Jeff Strabajek. Jeff, how we doing, baby?
Good, man. It's like Christmas morning right now, just about an hour and a half away from it. So the excitement's just building up right now after all of the months since January of this year. I know it was just a short time ago, but it feels like forever. So it's now time to get after it.
It's crazy when we start the 100 days till Notre Dame football countdown. It always seems like such a long time away, and then you turn around and it's at 10, and it's at 5, and now it's game day. So it's just crazy how fast things go by nowadays. And we're excited. I'm trying to contain my excitement because it's still an hour and a half away, and I'm gonna need to pace myself. But the excitement for this team this year is off the charts for me. I'll just start with I'll bury the lead here, but CJ Carr is a guy that I've believed in for many years. We had the opportunity to go cover him at the Elite 11 finals in Southern California a couple years ago. And what I saw that day gave me a lot of hope and confidence in what's going to happen today. And that's that CJ is going to go out there and command the huddle. He's going to go out there and do enough to get us across the finish line, so to speak. We don't need him to win the game. We've seen him not to lose the game, but I think he can do more than just be a Trent Dilfer on the Ravens back in the early 2000s. I think he's a guy that can execute, and I don't think Miami's really prepared for what he's going to bring to the table, and that's making those throws that other guys can't, and just making good decisions. Not to mention the fact that they're going to have a lot to deal with on the ground game, which we'll get to here in a minute. So, we're just kind of talking. We're going to get to as many of the comments as we can, but we do want to kind of break down some of the key components of the game. Jeff's done a lot of research on Miami. Nate's done a lot of research on both teams. And I'm just here for the fun and the Thor hammer that we just got. It's freaking awesome. It's time to smash. Looking at the weather reports, looks like it's going to be a little wet to start with. May even get a lightning delay here and there. Hopefully not. But it does look like, in my opinion, that's going to favor the Irish because obviously that ground game travels well and deals with weather well. Let's go into the comments here real quick. Amber Sullivan. Hey, guys, go Irish, beat Canes. I like our chances tonight, hoping for the defense to smack them boys around. And for Carr and J-Leb to have a great game. Absolutely. Sean Hagan, let's effing go. Patty Mac on the phone, on the line here. Let's effing go. Mike Fay, welcome back for a new year. Go Irish. Gary Candidate, we are rocking the kilt in Marlow, Oklahoma. So there's a big gathering in Marlow, Oklahoma. Gary's there. A good friend of ours, Corey Nagel's there. Lots of good stuff. Yard is mowed, boys. That's from Jason Lynch, one of our other admin. If you haven't seen the video yet, Lynch put on his golden helmet, his fantasy football jersey, and mowed his lawn. So good job, Lynch. We're glad to see you're contributing to the family. Sean Hagan's rocking his Dos Leprechauns Irish car bomb tee. Love it. Thank you. Jacob Martinez, haven't heard from you in a while, brother. How you doing? What's up, guys? Greetings from Menifee, California. Let's go Irish. Patrick McCormick says Irish by 13 or more. We'll get to that as well. You might have seen our picks that we have. I think it's going to be much closer than my colleagues here. I think the Irish are going to squeak one out late. I'm thinking in the neighborhood of 2017, 2016, something like that. Points will be at a premium, in my opinion. I think both defenses, Notre Dame's defense is dominant, and I think Miami's defense is much, much improved. So I think it's going to be a heavyweight fight, guys. I think that's what we got on our hands. So, Nate, want to turn it over to you first. You have a little bit more confidence in the score. I'm not super unconfident that we're not going to win. I just think it's going to be a lot closer than a lot of people are predicting. So, Nate, what gives you kind of the confidence to think we might win by double digits or more?
Yeah, I just think we haven't seen the type of weapons that CJ Carr has for a quarterback in years, honestly. You got everywhere you look, you see weapons. You got Malachi Fields, you got Jaden Greathouse, you got Eli Reardon, you got Will Pauling, you got Jeremiah Love, Jadarian Price. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And I just can't remember a time when, we had a quarterback that we had to break in where it was like, hey, we don't know how he's going to do because he doesn't have that many weapons. But in reality, CJ has so many weapons where, he's not going to be forced to make a bad decision and throw to a guy he doesn't trust. I solely believe that CJ Carr trusts Jaden Greathouse, and I trust that Jaden Greathouse trusts CJ Carr. So that gives me some of the most confidence. And, hey, if the passing game isn't working for the first half, you have the best running back in football to hand the ball off to. So that's why I'm pretty confident.
Jeff, I know you have a similar confidence level of Nate. What gives you the confidence of the potential 10-point, double-digit win or more?
I love it, to be honest with you. After just kind of listening to my row of podcasts that I actually trust and understand, it just seems like there's too many moving parts, specifically at Miami, to where we don't have the edge of having our own homegrown boys that we don't have to pick from the transfer portal every year. I think that's going to play a crucial role, especially with how their defense looks. Their defense is going to be a complete makeover, and I personally think that they're at a level where I think with time they'll get better. But tonight specifically, I think Mesidor and Ruben Bain are going to be the problems that we need to really kind of sit down and digest what they could do off the edge. I love Anthony Knapp at left, and I love Emil at right. They had Shamir Moore, they had Shamar Turner and freaking Nick Scorton last year.
Yep.
So I bet they're just going like this. So I don't discount that we can get away with this game by putting the foot on the pedal, but there's always a optimistic, like cautiously optimistic attitude about it.
Yeah, I think I love your point about the pass rush that Knapp and the other tackle Neil Wagner I think are going to be up against, because last year was the same script that a lot of the naysayers were talking about, that this young kid Anthony Knapp can't handle the pressure. The Irish are going to get run over or they're going to get dominated on both lines of scrimmage, and just the opposite happened. I think Anthony Knapp arrived, so to speak, right? And he was injured toward the end of last year, and I do think we missed his physicality. I'm a huge Anthony Knapp fan. I think he's the kind of kid, not the biggest kid, maybe not the fastest, but he's absolutely probably the toughest guy on that offensive line. And I think you're going to see that today. I think he welcomes challenges like that. You saw, if you've seen any of these pregame videos where the player walk is happening on campus, Anthony Knapp's always the guy that's fired up, going nuts on the way in, just hardly can contain his excitement. And I just love kids like that just have that passion for the game. And that portrays well on the field, and I think it's going to in a game like this. So offensively, Jeff, what are your concern spots for what the Miami Hurricanes will bring offensively against Chris Ash's defense?
It starts with their line up front. If we can't get pressure from our front four or get some guys off the edge to pressure Carson Beck, he has been successful when he has time to throw. Granted, the weather conditions stay the same or are different. I still think that I'll take our front four against their front five, and let's run with it. They got some new name receivers that, like I said, the transfer portal, they have bought a lot of – they have bought themselves into a team that could formate into something much more. But I just see that the writing's on the wall where we have guys that have been battle tested and through. As far as Mark Fletcher and Jordan Lyle go, like those are two names that you're going to want to keep. And then they have Charmar Brown, who's kind of a third part of the running back committee. So I think we'll see some of him tonight. So it's going to be that battle up front to see if we could get a good pass rush as well as run defense, because they have a mountain at right tackle, I believe. And then they have a pretty veteran line overall returning that was blocking for Cam Ward last year. So I'm excited. To say the least, with what we're about to be faced with.
So Nate put an article out yesterday that was kind of just a breakdown of the game and where he thought we had the advantage and where we might have some trouble. But he had a breakout player of the game, which I really liked, and I kind of wanted to get your take. But Nate's breakout player for today's game is wide receiver Will Pauling, the transfer from Wisconsin. Nate, you want to get into why you selected Will Pauling?
Yeah, I just think it can be a nice safety valve for CJ to go to. You saw Riley go to Bo Collins, his transfer receiver, a lot early in the A&M game last year. And even in clutch situations in the game, that big third down catch to, get that drive going at the end there. So I think Will Pauling can be that, safety valve. And I don't want to make any crazy comparisons, but he can be like a little Julian Edelman type and just be a possession receiver. So I have a lot of confidence in Will Pauling tonight.
How about you, Jeff? Who's your breakout on either side of the ball that's going to be like, wow, we knew that kid was good, but we didn't know he was a difference maker like that?
I think we're going to start to see the freaking Eli Reardon. I think we're going to start to see the freaking him because he's going to be coming off as more of a check down guy tonight. And I think CJ to get settled in, Mike Denbrock's game plan is going to be slow and steady. He's going to win this race, and then we go at will with our running game, kind of like we did against A&M last year. because we're going to have to get CJ settled into the game. And no better way of getting a young quarterback settled in is to stabilize your running game and have those nice little short passes checked off the box. Especially how he did it with Bo Collins last year, how Riley Leonard did it with Bo Collins, as an example of kind of having that guy to check down to, or these intermediate passes. We all know CJ's strength is the kid could take risk and be damn good at it. But I like let's get into the game. Let's get guys like Greathouse, Will Pauling, guys that are going to be known to be in the slot involved, as well as our tight ends. Because that's where our bread and butter has been for years, and those tight ends in our running game. So I think Eli Reardon's going to be my guy to click because of just his freakish tendencies. So
I'm going to sound like a broken record here, just like I did all last year. But I think after today, aside from Notre Dame diehards and Notre Dame fans, Bryce Young is going to be a guy that's going to be talked about a lot on the media shows. I think Miami, he's going to leave his imprint on Miami. This is his game. He's starting, and I just can't wait to see him with his hair on fire every single play, getting after the quarterback. And I really want him to make Carson Beck's life a living hell. I want to see him just absolutely punch him in the face and make him think twice about dropping back. I mean, with him, Boubacar healthy, Josh Burnham, Jordan Botello possibly playing, that pass rush is just sick. I mean, it's the defensive ends on this team are as deep as I can remember as a 35-plus year fan. So, it's going to be exciting to see that. The linebacker core, you obviously, Drake Bowen obviously is a guy that we love and is the leader of this defense, quite frankly, him and Adon Schuler. But with him, KVA, and Snead, you got a great linebacking group. Your secondary, Adon Schuler, it looks like it's going to be Jalen Stroman back there to start. And then the corners, obviously, they're on an island, and I don't see these wide receivers having much success out on the backfield. So to me, it all comes down to stopping the run on both sides for both teams. If Miami has success stopping the run, it could be a little bit of a long day. If we have success stopping the run and make Carson Beck throw as much as he might have to, then I think it's going to be a long day for him. So no secret formula there. Stop the run.
Don't discount those two guys up front for us either, Jason. With Jason Anye and Gabe Rubio, Jared Dawson,
Heinisch,
Donnie Heinisch up front. I think they're going to make those interior linemen buckle up a little bit for Miami, because none of them besides Rubio and Donovan have real tape against anyone. And Jason Anye, I feel, is going to be a freaking firecracker. 6'5", 305, and he's strong.
Well, we haven't even gotten too much into the rotation there, the defensive line rotation, especially in the interior, but it's probably going to be a humid day out there. So I think fresh legs are going to be crucial. And yes. I think we're going to have that. Like you said, you mentioned Gabe Rubio. We haven't even talked about our boy Big Bear, Sean Sevillano, who could probably see some reps today. Inside, I mean, the interior, yeah. Are they smaller? For sure. I mean, those Miami offensive linemen are big dudes, but big doesn't always mean better, right? You got speed, technique, and strength wins overall. And like you said, I think Heinesch's comment the other day got me so fired up when he talked about how people are already forgetting about Notre Dame, but they're here too. They're going to remind people while they're here. And I love that attitude from a captain. He didn't hold back. He said, look, we're tired of the disrespect, basically. I'm paraphrasing. But, him as a leader in there, I think you have all your starters. I'm sorry, all your captains are starters, which I think is a big thing. Sure. And there are guys that are playing crucial roles on the team. It's very exciting. We're going to have a lot of rotational guys coming in. I think people are going to probably need to have their rosters printed and ready to go, myself included. I feel like I know every guy on the team. However, there's some guys that change numbers. I'm like, who's that? Another guy that I can't wait to see get some reps this year, this game on defense is Tate Johnson. I've heard nothing but good things about him in the spring the fall. I thought he played well in the spring game. I loved what I saw out of him in high school. Obviously, totally different story, but he's just a freak athlete. So
he'll be involved. He'll be involved tonight. I did hear on separate things. We're gonna see 4 safeties at some point. With Luke Talich, with Stroman, with Tay with Don. Don's going to be on the field unless if he asks for a blow. But I think we're going to see a nice rotation of that where each one of them possesses a very nice trait.
Sure.
You know, they all possess a very nice trait. And that even goes for the edge guys and the defensive linemen. So it's like, man, that's another thing that I just take as a key to winning this game is just the depth. The depth that we have is an embarrassment of riches right now. So we need to take advantage of that, and it's going to be sticky and humid. I've already talked to my people on the ground in Miami, and it's wet, it's raining, it's extremely windy. So there's going to be some weather factors.
I personally think the weather factors favor the Irish because of the style of play.
Yes, 100%. I like our team speed more than their team speed. And they're going to have a lot of moving parts, a lot of gets and gadgets to get over. And we got returning starters who played at Notre Dame, who aren't walking onto this team only with maybe a spring and a fall camp under their belt. So I do love that. I think that's going to be extremely crucial.
What do you guys think about Chris Ash? You know, he's been a little bit lost in the shuffle a lot of the talk. I mean, a guy that comes in after Al Golden, who really established the Irish defense as one of the top in the country year after year. Not a lot of new faces on that Irish defense, so he really has, you know, a full cupboard to work with. How do you feel like his scheme can be different, the same? You think he's just, if it ain't broke, don't fix it type thing?
I think it's the latter of what you just said. It was more like a turnkey exchange pipe. Where he's not worried about the athletes at hand or really scheming up. I'm sure in his meetings all week he has different conversations and relies on who he has. I mean, Washington, Mike Mickens. I mean, it's crazy. Max Bulla. He's probably had numerous conversations with those guys, and it's about earning their trust and being able to call a good football game. And I think Chris Ash is just kind of a turnkey guy that's going to be able to run this Notre Dame defense to its full capabilities.
Nate, what about you? How do you feel about Ash?
Yeah, I think I've grown to respect him a lot more. I wasn't super excited about the hire at first, I'm not going to lie. But I think it would really take a lot to mess up the defense, to be honest with you. Like, there's so many weapons, like you guys said, there's so much depth. And one more thing with the depth, like, to be honest, in the Natty, I think that's what killed us. I think that's the biggest reason we won the game. And to say that we have better depth it's an insane thought to have. Like, this team has better depth and maybe a better team. I think it's a better team than last year. It's just crazy to think about. But yeah, I have all the confidence in Ash to, you know, really make a name for himself today and be like, that's not Al Golden at DC. That's Chris Ash at DC.
I like that.
Yeah.
Well, flipping back to the offense, we had a comment, somebody asking about Cam Williams and if we'll see him, and I think the answer is yes. I think obviously you're going to start with Will Pauling, Jaden Greathouse, and Malachi Fields, the transfer from Virginia. By the way, he's number 0. We'll be looking for him. But yeah, I think you'll see Cam Williams. Obviously Jordan Faison. Who am I forgetting, guys? Cam Williams, Micah Gilbert. I think you'll see everybody. I think everybody's going to get some carries or some balls. I think the first 3 guys you see out there, though, are the guys that CJ is going to have to kind of really get comfortable with and establish some rapport with so that he can know those are his targets. But to answer that gentleman's question, I absolutely think you're going to see Cam Williams today and quite a bit this season. I've been high on Cam Williams since he came in with CJ. He's just a freak athlete. And, yeah, I don't think you keep a guy off like that off the field for too much longer. Let's see. Got a couple. See, Ryan Chepkevic says, I think Love and Greathouse and Field scored touchdowns tonight. If all 3 of those guys score touchdowns, we win the game guaranteed.
Have at it.
KK established himself. Good point by Kenny Moore here. KK Smith established himself as well. Yeah, I mean, the receivers, what was supposedly a deficiency last year's team, the wide receiver room this year is ridiculous. I mean, you've got guys out there that are veterans like Malachi Fields and Will Pauling. And then you got
Pauling.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, stutter much. Then you got, new guys like Cam Williams and some of these others, Jaden Greathouse, who came on strong last year. A lot of speed, a lot of experience, a lot of size too. So it's just going to be a souffle. And as you mentioned, Jeff, Eli Reardon, holy cow, that guy is an absolute phenom. I mean, hopefully the next great tight end to come out of Notre Dame. Little thin there. That's a little bit of a concern for me, how thin we are in the tight end room, but we do have Washington as a backup. Another guy that's very experienced, and then Flanagan, I think Flanagan's a go. But
Flanagan is not Jack Larson.
Jack Larson
will be there. So
thank you.
I think we'll be all right there. It's more or less those packages specified. We're going to have Ty Washington and Eli Reardon kind of leading the way. So I feel comfortable, but if one goes down, it's always that damn back of the brain type of thing. But Denbrock has his plan, and I think Denbrock is really good at sticking to his plan, and I think it's just easing these guys into this game that's going to be so crucial for him.
Yeah, I just one thing I wanted to add. One of the comments on here said, let me get back up to it. So it says from Amber Sullivan, I don't think Freeman is going to get too cute with the passing game. He needs to use those weapons that he has, such as Love, Price, and Reardon. I just want to piggyback off of that. I also agree Freeman's not going to get too cute. I think that was one of the turning points in the game in 2017 against Miami. Josh Adams, dominated that first drive, and then 1st and 10, Wimbush is dropping back, and I think it was Equinemius, St. Brown. I think he dropped it. And then that was kind of the turning point because they didn't get 6 out of it, 3 and out, punted, and then from there the downhill spiral started. So I don't see that happening in this game, but I just want to point that out.
Patrick Wright commented a few minutes ago, is Carr ready for pressure, and can he manage the game on the field? It's impossible to say for sure what's going to happen with that. I mean, obviously Miami, their defensive coordinator coming over from Minnesota, they're no dummies. They know they've got a guy back there that's never taken a snap. So absolutely, they're going to pin their ears back. I would imagine the first 2 or 3 series nonstop. And also Denbrock is not an idiot either, and he knows that that's coming. So they're going to scheme it. There is going to be times where I'm sure CJ is going to look like he's never taken a snap before. Let's be honest. We can't think that he's going to go out there and be, Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is one of a kind. He is a phenom coming into the college game. But that said, he doesn't have to be perfect this first game. He just needs to not make too many mistakes. And if Marcus Freeman, Coach Godelli, and Coach Denbrock all believe in CJ Carr as quarterback 1, then I believe in it.
There's a reason for it.
100%. Those guys are getting paid a lot of money and have the weight of the world on their shoulders. They're not going to throw a guy out there that they're not 100% confident can handle the job of being QB1 at Notre Dame. But I see your point, though, Patrick. Yeah, it's, he's a 19-year-old kid playing in front of 80,000 screaming idiots and 60,000 screaming morons in Miami and 20,000 intelligent, classified or classy people. Let's see. Fighting Irish faithful. This Miami defense is not even close to the 2017 Miami defense. Yeah, no doubt about that.
No, yeah.
And our offense is not a 2017 offense, and our coach is not a 2017 coach.
From top to bottom.
Yeah, from top to bottom, 100%. You've got it's a completely different culture. It's a completely different mindset. If you guys are jumping on late, we started this podcast with about a 3-4 minute snippet from Jeremiah Love's interview on the Pivot Show. It has Ryan Clark on there. Clark. Yeah, a couple other guys like that. And the mentality that you see from J Love, the calm confidence, not cocky, but calm and confident, is this entire team's outlook. They're not sitting there, oh, we went to the national championship game last year. They have the SAS, still ain't S word for a reason.
Still ain't shit.
No, thank you. Yeah, I don't want to get censored by YouTube. But yeah, they have that on their, they have that as a saying for a reason. They believe that was just the scratching the surface. That was just the first cut of the pie. And I think that these guys are ready, man. The mentality, I love the mentality. Everybody's against Notre Dame. They haven't done anything yet, and they're going to be out to prove that. The hunters, not the hunted. See, go Irish from Augusta, Georgia. That's from Ryan Newsom. Let's see. Chris Morning, the biggest question mark is our D-line. Tons of depth, but shaky on talent level against the solid Miami O-line. Give Carson Beck time to sit back and throw, and he can be a big problem. Yeah, that's definitely that's from Chris Mannion, and I wouldn't necessarily say lack of talent or shaky on talent. I would say more so experience, if anything. But even then, Donnie Heinisch played a lot of reps last year.
Gabe Rubio
Played a lot.
Anya played until he had his issues.
Yep.
And then left the team. And then, I mean, you got Jared Dawson, who's played meaningful snaps. So I personally don't think that's something that I'm worried about per se. I think it's just going to be down to a matter of will. And I like our guys a lot better because they don't have this persona of the hunted or being scared like we have been. This is a totally new Notre Dame regime where I would be shitting my pants for a game like this. But now I feel like I'm on the other side of the river with that because of the man in charge. I mean, he's given the fan base confidence. And most importantly, he's given these kids, all 70 of them or 80 of them who are dressed tonight. He's going to give them confidence. So I can't wait for his little walkout tonight at Hard Rock. Like, yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, he's almost become like on WWE professional wrestling when you're waiting for the the tagline to drop. Last year it was violence with that little smile and grin. Who knows what it's going to be this year? But hopefully something similar to violence. But yeah, he's going to have a sound bite, and not even just a sound bite, but truly a rallying cry for these guys. I mean, we're about an hour away from the game. He's probably already in there talking to these guys about how much he loves them, giving every single player a high five from first string to prep team. I mean, the guy's he's just special. We got a special coach, and I think we're going to see the results of everything on the field. My last comment that I want to make before we jump off here. I really have liked what's the word I'm looking for? Just the demeanor, the overall demeanor, the attitude that I've seen from both players and coaches in all the interviews, whether it be post-practice, pre-practice, media scrums, etc. They've all seemed have that quiet confidence. Nobody's cocky, but I think they have that quiet confidence. It's like, look, we are a good team. We know we're a good team. We love each other, and we're going to play for each other. And nobody's doing any kind of prognosticating that they're going to win it all, but they're just saying, hey, look, we're going to come out and do what we do, and that should be enough. So what's your any last comments, any last takeaways, Jeff, for the game that you want to let people know about?
I just buckle up. This is going to be another season where we're going to see highs and lows, hopefully less lows than highs because of the landscape of college football. We watched a 2-10 Florida State team beat the hell out of Alabama. So it's like the transfer portal has changed the game, and you can have players that could influence the game in a big way. But I like where we're at as a program, and I think we're going to weather the storm, no pun intended, in Miami Gardens today, and we're really going to, I think, take it to these guys. That's what I want to hear. Nate, what do you got?
Yeah, I think today could be, like you said earlier, like today can be a statement, no team, if we're being 100% honest, really lit anybody's eyes on fire. Like, oh, we need to be looking out for these guys. Every team on Saturday looked incredibly beatable. I maybe aside from Florida State because they looked dominant, but everybody else, I mean, it's fair game for everybody. There's no dominant team. And I think Notre Dame can really establish themselves tonight and be like, look, we're here. We just went into Miami, took them down, literally shook down the thunder from the sky, and, came out on the other end and was the better football team and, looked like a team that played for a national championship last year, won 3 playoff games. Sorry.
Yep.
And I'm really excited. It's not just excitement because it's the first game of the season. It's excitement because of what could be happening.
Yeah. No, I'd say, and I'll just close by saying that I think that everything you guys said is my feelings exactly. It is excitement for me because this is the first game. This really is like Christmas for me. Day I look forward to more than just about any day of the year is Notre Dame's first game. Day I dread more than any day is Notre Dame's last game. And hasn't been as long in between the games, and I hope that to continue because that means we're playing deep into the season. So things are looking up, guys. It is going to be, in my opinion, it's going to be a slobber knocker. It's going to be a knockdown, drag out, punch you in the face kind of game. There's going to be some good and some bad. I would just remind people that Freeman knows what he's doing, and don't lose hope no matter what happens. But I think we're going to be in a good place here, guys. So enjoy the game. Stay tuned in to Dose Leprechauns, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and especially YouTube. Please subscribe to YouTube. We'll have updates throughout the game. Patty McCormick will be doing our halftime thoughts, and then we'll be back here as soon as the game is over for either a victory party or sorrow, let's drink ourselves to sleep type deal. But I think it's going to be a victory party. So love you guys. Thanks for joining us. Jeff, thanks for jumping on, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Go Irish.
Go Irish.